Tonight on News 5 Live, a whopping $6.9 million to purchase private lands for new university hospital. The Bersenio administration explains the reason for relocating from UB lands. Channel 5 wins big at annual Caribbean Media Awards. And in tonight's episode of the 5-Point Breakdown, we take a closer look at child marriage. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
My name is Nayeli Yakab. I'm the coordinator of the Benke House of Culture niche. Before the Belize Bank online service, I had to travel to San Ignacio because we don't have a Belize Bank branch in our community. Now with the service, I can conduct my transactions at the office, at the comfort of my home, just anywhere in the world. It has made my life much easier. I would recommend the Belize Bank digital services to everyone and anyone. It gives you back your time, it's highly reliable, it's available 24/7, and it just makes your life easier.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
It's the return of your favorite Tuesday night entertainment. KTV The Remix Season 6 is here. Join us for an exciting night and a chance to win fabulous prizes. Plus compete in our halftime challenge. Get your tickets for just $5. Available at Channel 5 and Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. Can't make it in person? No problem. Watch it live on Channel 5 or stream it on Facebook and YouTube. The fun starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 6. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Child marriage is not just a legal issue. It's a matter of human rights and a form of gender-based violence. It often emerges from cultural beliefs and influence of closed-minded relatives, depriving children of their basic human rights to freedom, security, education, and a voice.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank. Good evening and welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, August 14th. I am Sabrina Daly. The proposed site for the construction of a new tertiary hospital in Belmopan from the location where it was initially suggested is causing quite a stir since the facility will no longer be built on property belonging to the University of Belize. That piece of land, which was set aside for the University Hospital, is a little over 5.5 miles away from the George Price Highway, and access to the undeveloped acreage proves to be a challenge. Last April, approval was given for a modern national referral hospital with a price tag of $45 million to be built in the nation's capital. 1 year later, the cabinet approved the transfer of that facility based on a technical report presented by officials from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Earlier today, Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Jorge Polanco, and Chief Nursing Officer, Lizette Bell, outlined several reasons why the UB property was not suitable for the project.
Ms. Bell and myself and other senior officials visited the site that was proposed, which is part of the property of UB. And indeed, that visit really called our attention. The distance was very significant. It was far, to put it that way. From the highway, it was about 9 kilometers. It was an area that currently has no infrastructure, no light, no water. To reach that area, we had to move through the adjacent area, Belmopan, which is adjacent to the major part of Belmopan. And we immediately recognized that that is not the best site, simply because of the distance. When we reached to the area, we noticed there was no other access to get to that point. There is no access from the Hummingbird Highway. There is no access from the Western Highway. There we had to pass through a depression, which is a creek that would normally get flooded whenever the rains are significant. So we said, if there could be another site closer to the highways, that would be of much benefit.
Contrary to what has been reported elsewhere in the media, the initial property that was recommended for the University Hospital does not sit next to the UB gym. According to nurse Lizette Bell, the government would have to purchase private property to build a road to the hospital. As it stands, to get to the existing location, one must drive through residential neighborhoods.
What we would like to dispel is that the area that has been allocated or the university would have provided to us, it is not adjacent to the existing university. So this property is not beside the gym. Even the university students would have had to come out of the campus to access this area. So this area is all the way in Belmopan extension. So it's at the south end of the hundreds of acres that the university owns. So in addition to that, being of the distance, we also had to consider the issue of the infrastructure, as Dr. Polanco mentioned. So it doesn't have any access roads. For us to be able to provide services at the tertiary level and the secondary level, which this facility will provide, we need to ensure access to the highways. In doing so, the government would still have to procure private properties for us to gain access to the Hummingbird Highway.
And to the Western.
Exactly. So we would have also had to put in additional funding for road structures on both ends, meaning for us to access the Hummingbird and for us to access the George Price Boulevard and into the Western Highway. So that is something that we had to consider. The project has already started, even though we had the issue of the relocation of the land. We still work towards the component of the design and supervision. So we are at a point at this time, along with the Central Execution Unit of the Ministry of Economic Development, we are finalizing those proposals or bids that were submitted to them with regards to the design and supervision. So I don't foresee, or I would not say that this has caused any delays in the estimated time frame for the completion of the project.
The government of Belize is purchasing 15 acres of roadside property for almost $7 million to construct a new tertiary hospital in Belmopan. While the Briceño administration is on record stating that the final figure is well below the initial price sought by Annie Zhu and Kenny Zhang, the acquisition still comes with a hefty price tag. A release issued by the government of Belize today states, quote, Cabinet's only objective in supporting the recommendation to relocate the hospital remains its commitment to providing universal health coverage and ensuring the highest standards of healthcare delivery for all Belizeans, end quote. As a public sector investment, the construction of the new Belmopan Hospital also falls under the purview of the Ministry of Economic Development. Prime Minister John Briceño heads that ministry. So today, when reporters caught up with Narda Garcia, the chief executive officer in the office of the Prime Minister, she was asked if the project funders were informed of the decision to relocate the hospital's construction site. She says that she does not know much about the process because her ministry works with private sector investments.
I do investment, but I do private sector investment. That is public sector investment. So I'm not very intimate with the process. I do know it's a Saudi loan, and I know that the Saudi loan is led by the Saudi people, and I know that the design of the hospital and all of that is being done through the Saudis, that they're going to start the process for bidding for contractors, but that is as much as I can tell you, because I do mostly private sector investment. Public sector investment is done by the Ministry of Economic Development.
I thought since that falls under the Prime Minister's portfolios, I thought that you would know.
No, I don't know. I know some. Like I said, I know where it is, how much it is, the part of the process that has started, but I don't know more than that.
Because obviously people are questioning how is it justified that you spent $460,000 per acre of land to move this hospital, whereas you had free land?
Yeah, I understand that Dr. Sabida was on Channel 5 this morning, and I think he's more technical in that area to comment on the move. I learned from the move from the media, actually, from the media. So that's as much as I can tell you.
Coming up, Ishmael Kuraz takes over as the new executive director of Beltrade.
Who will be this year's National Song Competition winner for 2024? Who will walk away with $20,000? It's all happening at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts starting at 8 p.m. on Friday, August 16th. The panel of esteemed judges will be looking for originality, melody, lyrics, arrangement, harmony, vocal and stage performance, production, and overall appeal. There will be second and third place winners. Come see the 7 finalists' dynamic performances. Sponsored by the Ministry of Education, Culture, Science and Technology, the National Institute of Culture and History NICH, the National Celebrations Commission, and the Institute of Creative Arts, ICA.
Land by the sea, beautiful with the trees and valleys. Culture rich, we the one big family.
unwrap the joy of crystal clear picture and sound from Iowa, the brand that offers you affordability and exceptional quality. Iowa has a wide range of exceptional products to choose from, such as TVs, speakers, headphones, home appliances, and much more at affordable prices that won't break the bank. Enhance your audio-visual entertainment experience with Iowa, and for your convenience, parts are readily available in country for hassle-free maintenance. You can find Iowa products at your local electronics store countrywide. Choose Iowa, the best in home entertainment and household appliances.
Tuesday night entertainment. KTV The Remix Season 6 is here. Join us for an exciting night and a chance to win fabulous prizes. Plus compete in our halftime challenge. Get your tickets for just $5. Available at Channel 5 and Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. Can't make it in person? No problem. Watch it live on Channel 5 or stream it on Facebook and YouTube. The fun starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 6. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
Queen of the Bay 2023 to 2024, Kendall Morgan has been stripped of the title and crown. The announcement came from the Association of Former Queens and the National Queen of the Bay Committee in the form of a press release. The association and the committee cite instances of alleged bullying and general discourteous and disrespectful behavior on the part of Morgan. The decision was also made to name the first runner-up in last year's pageant the new queen for the remainder of the time. News 5's Marian Ali has a report on this development.
Controversy surrounds the Queen of the Bay franchise yet again, as the title and the crown have been taken away from reigning queen Kendall Morgan. With only 10 days left before the 2024-2025 queen is selected, the Association of Former Queens and the National Queen of the Bay Committee have announced that last year's first runner-up, Keely Fox, is the 78th Queen of the Bay. The association and the committee, in this Facebook press release, point to several infractions by Morgan over the course of the year that she has held the crown. The violations include, quote, bullying, cyberbullying, and general discourteous and disrespectful behavior, end quote. The release states that the decision was unanimous and that the two bodies attempted numerous ways to allow Morgan to complete her reign. The release did not state specific details, but it mentions that Morgan was written to informing her of violations she has committed, which are not in tandem with the terms of her contract. Prior to the letters, the release states, Morgan was given verbal warnings of her behavior. The release also quotes sections of the contract, a portion of which deals with the way the Queen of the Bay is expected to carry herself. This includes posts made on social media. Furthermore, the release quotes other sections of the contract that speak to the scope within which the Queen of the Bay is expected to carry herself when engaging the public, raises concerns or queries, or in sharing plans or notices when leaving the country. The joint press release reveals that in July, a meeting was held to discuss the infractions, as well as a meeting that Morgan had with a delegation of former queens to raise her concerns over the allegations that were made against her. It was decided in July that in an effort to allow her to keep the crown and title, Morgan would be limited in her interactions with the candidates, a decision to which she had reportedly agreed to by attaching her signature to the written decision. The release concludes by stating that Morgan will remain with the prizes she has won, which include a bachelor's degree scholarship to the University of Belize and a title property in the Belize rural area. News 5 has attempted to get comments from Morgan's manager, who has indicated that they have attained the services of an attorney to review the matter. We've also tried to reach the director of the National Queen of the Bay Committee, Sherry Magwiti, but our efforts were futile. Several years ago, controversy had surrounded the Queen of the Bay pageant when two individuals were named Queen, one officially and the other by an official of the committee who had believed that there was disparity between the scores for the actual winner. That matter was settled when the person who was initially named Queen of the Bay was officially crowned on September 10th of that year. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Earlier today, the Office of the Prime Minister, the CARICOM Development Fund, and Beltrade officially launched the Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, an initiative aimed at assisting micro, small, and medium enterprises with access to affordable financing. Outgoing Executive Director Dr. Leroy Almendarez and Prime Minister John Briceño were on hand for the ceremony.
One of the biggest challenges faced by MSMEs is access to, and always put in the A, affordable finance. In this case, it's access to finance to induce your growth, your transition through that ecosystem. And so the benefits here will be great because there are those who just need that inducement. These are some of the things that the government is doing, in this case through Beltrade, for MSMEs. And there are quite a number of other initiatives. But as we focus on BEEP now, as a matter of fact, we didn't have the P before, and so it was B. And I think someone asked me who was going to fly. So we added the BEEP rather than B. And so with this project now, honestly, I must also say here that the government has been focusing quite a lot. In fact, in BIS 2023, that's Belize Investment Summit, we spoke about the orange economy. Too often, we hear about the creative industry, etc., and those things that fall within there. But we spoke about the fires of the mind, and those fires are orange, the intellectual property. And so a large part of this concentration, the funds available, will be for the orange economy. And that is something great. That tells you the diversification, blue, green, and orange, but how much focus the government places on entrepreneurial development.
MSMEs contribute to more than 50% of our gross domestic product, or GDP. My government is fully aware of the great contributions that MSMEs make to our economy, stimulating local investment and diversification of our economy with a push to enhance community resilience. These are all essential components that will create an environment that fosters both rural and urban development as the matrix of locally produced goods and services prevails. The continued injection of innovation through enhanced digitization efforts must not be overlooked because this allows for even greater efficiencies in service delivery. Today you join us to unveil the Belize Enterprise Empowerment Project, BEEP, a project developed to address one of the greatest challenges faced by MSMEs, that is access to finance. This initiative represents a significant shift from the original intent of the Belize Enterprise Revolving Fund, or the BRF, which utilizes a blended approach to provide much needed financial support. The BRF methodology used a blended loan and grant approach. This revolving aspect meant that 40% had to be repaid as a loan with a fixed rate of 4%. Recognizing that challenge, I wrote to CEO of CARICOM Development Fund, Rodinal, right? Summer, making the case that the funds we represent repurposed as grants only, which would stimulate greater economic activity and uptake by MSMEs.
Ishmael Kuraz, the former executive director of the Economic Development Council, has been given the green light to fill the vacant post left by Dr. Leroy Almendarez at Beltrade. As we reported, Dr. Almendarez left his post as executive director to become the chief executive officer at the Social Security Board. According to Narda Garcia, the CEO in the Ministry of Investment, Kuraz is a good fit for the position at Beltrade because he collaborated with the agency on numerous projects in his former capacity.
Ishmael Kuraz has been with the EDC for 7 years, and he had resigned. It was happening in tandem. He had resigned for another, I think he was going to the National Bank because he was looking as a professional, as a young professional, for other areas to learn, other areas to work. And at the same time, I knew that Dr. Almendarez was applying. As a matter of fact, he asked me what I thought, and I said, go for it. I think you can do the work, go for it. And you should always, as a professional, go for growth. And so I knew he was going to do well. And so when I heard that from Ishmael Kuraz that he was leaving, I said, we are going to have a vacancy at Beltrade, and they work so closely together. I have the Investment Policy and Compliance Unit at the Investment Ministry. We have the Economic Development Council and Beltrade, as you have witnessed. I have them working as a team in everything for investment, in the Investment Summit, in the MSME Roadshow, and everything else that we can package together, and that's how we work. And I told him it's going to be an easy transition. You know the staff, you know the vision, the mission, what we do at Beltrade, so it's going to be. And he applied, and the board has approved his application for it.
The Port of Belize needs an operational upgrade, according to business owners and brokers that say it has been running at a sluggish pace. Reports are that cargoes have been backing up at the port, leading to a delay in exporting and clearing goods. Narda Garcia, the chief executive officer in the Ministry of Investment, says the government is looking at what can be done to upgrade the port's cargo facility. She also revealed that a cruise port at the location is not off the table just yet.
From what I understand, Marisol, the port is being looked at by government to see what they're going to do with the port. There's no doubt there has to be an upgrade in the cargo side of it. But I think there's still a proposal to do cargo and cruise at the same location. But again, we have some environmental issues there, any which way you put it. So I don't know. I can find out and see at what stage they are to be able to comment. Perhaps maybe Minister Mala is more in tune with what is happening there. I know he wants the cruise port to come on stream, but it's also extremely important that our cargo side of it is upgraded and is technology takes over for a lot of what is happening there. It's only the right thing to do.
After the break, ending child marriage in Belize. But first, here's a weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
This plan, I can't left this plan. Smart Belize.
Hey there, smart thinkers. We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't let this plan. I can't let this plan.
V-Bucks and get a chance to win a $10,000 homecation with Benny's. Quality and savings.
We all know about the phasing out of single-use plastics and the enactment of pollution from the plastics regulations. One of the key components in this regulation states that for an item to be considered biodegradable, it must consist of more than 50% of bio-based content. Here, you will find out how the Department of the Environment determines what items meet the criteria and what equipment is being used to guide that process.
Since 2019, the Department of the Environment has been working with CIFAS in doing microplastics. Through this project, CIFAS has donated 2 microscope Fourier transform infrared spectroscopy equipment to strengthen capacities on monitoring and enforcement to reduce marine litter and plastic pollution. The FTIR can be used to identify unknown materials. The Department of the Environment will use the equipment to determine the composition of single-use plastics and biodegradable products to enforce the environmental protection, pollution from plastics regulations.
While we have a long way to go with the implementation of the pollution from plastics regulation, having this equipment is one step closer. For more information on what's being done about biodegradables and ways you can help, visit our website at www.doe.gov.bz.
Belize City Chicken Express, with spacious parking and air conditioning, has the widest variety of delicious chicken dishes to satisfy your every craving. You've been asking, and we heard you. Our Belize City branch is now open until 8 p.m. Chicken Express, with the unique taste of quality chicken.
MacNav Visual Strategies, where creativity meets business. Step inside our world of innovative visual solutions. From captivating graphic design to expansive wide format productions, our services are tailored to bring your vision to life. Experience the impact of our high-quality signage and billboards, embroidery, promotional items, and professional paper printing, all designed to elevate your brand's presence. Every project reflects our commitment to creativity, quality, and client satisfaction. At MacNav Visual Strategies, we transform ideas into visual realities. Get in touch today.
It's the return of your favorite Tuesday night entertainment. KTV The Remix Season 6 is here. Join us for an exciting night and a chance to win fabulous prizes. Plus compete in our halftime challenge. Get your tickets for just $5 Available at Channel 5 and Coney Drive and 88 Shopping Center. Can't make it in person? No problem. Watch it live on Channel 5 or stream it on Facebook and YouTube. The fun starts at 8 p.m. at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts. KTV The Remix Season 6. It's hot, it's live, and it's only on 5.
The practice of child marriage has been on a global decline in the last decade, but progress has been uneven around the world. In developing nations with large populations of women and children living in poverty, young girls remain vulnerable to gender-based violence. In this week's edition of the 5-Point Breakdown, News 5's Brittany Gordon examines why child marriage remains prevalent in the Caribbean and Latin America, and how Belize is working to put an end to it.
It takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a country to protect one. Young girls remain among the most vulnerable populations, susceptible to abuse, poverty, and teenage pregnancy. Melanie Barnes, a child protection officer at UNICEF, says that in Latin America and the Caribbean, there are roughly 58 million girls who were married before the age of 18.
When we surveyed women the age 20 to 24, we found a lot of them were married before the age of 18, and the data is 5.5%. Versus 1.4 boys. So we know that in terms of Belize, there's a large group of women who experience early unions. In terms of the region, Belize ranks 33. Belize has 33% prevalence, which makes us rank in terms of Latin America and the Caribbean as fourth. But for the Caribbean, we are first with 33%. The closest country to us is at 30%. So we have a lot of work to do in terms of addressing the age of marriage, but more so addressing the issue of consent.
The region has made little progress on ending child marriage over the last 25 years and stands to become the second highest when it comes to child marriage by 2030. This is partly due to the challenges in regulating the rate of minors engaging in intercourse. Special Envoy for the Development of Families and Children, Rossana Briceño, explains that education is key in driving down the numbers.
That's a hard one because we can't police everybody. And girls, boys, they will respond, they will be in relationships because it's a part of growing up. It's a natural process. We can't stop anybody from having sex because it will happen. Whether you want it or not, it will happen. We can pretend that it's not happening, but it is happening. What can we do? Educate them. Let them understand the consequences of having sex at an early age, the consequences of getting pregnant without protection or not being ready to get into a union or a marriage, because there's so many consequences. Health issues. A young girl is not even developed properly. You get pregnant. Now a child is having a child.
But the laws are changing. Last year at the National Children's Parliament, the call was made to raise the age of consent to marry from 16 to 18 years old. And today, across the country, consultations are happening to bring this change into legislation. The Executive Director of the National Commission for Families and Children spoke with us about the initiative.
It is extremely important, especially from the standpoint from NCFC, because the whole objective of the National Children's Parliament is a platform to allow the children's voices to be heard. And so it is important for us to continue. When I say us stakeholders, in this case we have Special Envoy and as well as the National Women's Commission that supports us to allow our children to have their voices heard. And so not only to just listen to them at the Parliament, but to act and to assist, because that is what we are here for.
Poverty and a lack of education continue to be two of the main drivers in child marriage. Executive Director of the National Women's Commission, Eleanor Maria, stressed the importance of both parents providing support for their children financially and emotionally. So how is it that so many women enter into these unions at such a young age?
Wow. It's historical, it's cultural, it has been normalized. You know, historically, as I said, when it comes to relationship, family history, we've always had this issue where grown men seems to be attracted to younger women. And they usually prey on the most vulnerable families, so the very poor families in most cases. And so if this household is poor, and there you have a man who have money or have some asset and saying, I want to take care of your daughter, in many cases, you know, they would give up their daughter for money or so that somebody else can take care of them, and that is what poverty does.
In many rural communities, child marriage exists as a part of the culture. 1 in 5 women ages 15 to 19 is married or in a union. Minister of Human Development, Families and Indigenous People Dolores Balderramos Garcia says that despite ties to the culture, child marriage needs to go.
Not because early unions are permitted in certain traditional communities does that mean that it is a good thing. Because how can a 12-year-old, how can a 13 or a 14-year-old really have a child and bring up that child in a proper way? They are children themselves, and clearly a 13-year-old or a 14-year-old would not have gone to high school to finish up. And you see, you need your education to be able to have a good life and a good job, and then be able to contribute back to society. So we want to end the child marriages and the early unions.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
When we return, a music project to connect Belizean youth and their ancestors.
The new healthcare provider feature seamlessly connects healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers to facilitate the payment of sickness benefits. Here are the enhancements. Registered healthcare providers will create and submit online medical certificates using their healthcare provider accounts. Insured persons will receive a link to view the medical certificate to complete and submit their sickness benefit claim. And employers will receive an email notification of their employee's sickness claim. Also, the insured person and their employer will receive a copy of the claim decision letter after review. Healthcare providers, insured persons, and employers are encouraged to create a portal account to access and benefit from these new services on My Social Security at ssbportal.org.bz. My Social Security online portal. Social Security at your fingertips.
La formación del Centro Neurológico del Hospital Galenia es que esas enfermedades que son altamente complejas y que muchos de nuestros pacientes tenían que emigrar hacia otra parte de la República u otra parte de México, ahora puedan ser atendidos aquí.
La atención quirúrgica en el centro neurológico se forma dentro de un grupo multidisciplinario que incluye tanto neurólogos, médicos internistas, ortopedistas, neurocirujanos, pediatras. Y este esfuerzo que se ha realizado para conjuntar todos los especialistas es para siempre brindar al paciente un abordaje multidisciplinario y transversal. Evidentemente, mientras más rápido podamos llegar al diagnóstico de los pacientes, más rápido podemos tratarlos, resolverlos y por ende mejor resultado vamos a tener al final. Entonces creo que la prioridad y el fundamento principal de un proyecto como este es justamente eso, que no se pierda tiempo de forma innecesaria para poder al final del día llegar al mejor de los resultados con un tratamiento completo, integral y oportuno. Y las visiones desde diferentes perspectivas nos permiten tener pues el mejor tratamiento y la mejor opción para el paciente.
Tenemos la capacidad técnica, operativa, profesional y la infraestructura de poder establecer una atención neurológica de alta calidad.
Borrowing by the Briseño government has been more excessive than by any previous administration.
We have come to this National Assembly and borrowed approximately $1.7 billion with a B in 4 years,
And as Senator Michael Perifit explained, that 1.7 billion with a B does not even include the constant domestic borrowing from the local financial system, an additional 758 million.
Like, for example, the government issued a Treasury bill note in July to be matured in October for $64 million. Like, then leave millions there, we know the company, This is just straight external loans that we take on in less than 4 years, $1.7 billion.
The excessive nature of the borrowing is one thing. What is also worrying is the question of where exactly is the money going.
We keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing. We not see no solar panel yet for the Saudis. We not see none of anything there yet. We're in there. And we keep the borrow and borrow with nothing to show for it.
The United Democratic Party calls on Briseño and the PUP to stop the excessive borrowing, which is not benefiting the people, but which generations of Belizeans will have to repay with interest.
It is concerning. The national debt is increasing, and the more we borrow, the less we see, and the more components come in these loans that have nothing to do with real development. When will we stop borrowing?
For yet another year, Channel 5 and its team of reporters, cameramen and editors have made the company and the country proud. This year, Channel 5's team won 8 awards and 2 special mentions at the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 35th Caribbean Media Awards on Tuesday night. The awards in the television category for which we won include Best News Story, Best News Item on Poverty Reduction and Empowerment of Vulnerable Groups, Best Sports Story, Best Magazine Program, Best Investigative Item in the Digital Content category, Best Climate Change News Item, Best Commercial Spot, Special Mention for our Open Your Eyes morning show, Special Mention for Best Investigative Item in the Digital category. We also received the award for Best Director and Best Sound Engineer. News 5's Marian Ali put together this story on the award winners.
For Best Health Education Journalism goes to Bridging the Gaps of Mental Illness Treatment, reporter Paul Lopez, videographer Chris Mangar, Great Belize Productions Limited, Belize.
Next is the Best Climate Change News Item. It goes to a piece entitled Cultivating Hope, Belize's seaweed farming industry takes root. Reporter Hipólito Novello. Videographer Darrell Mogel. Great Belize Production.
It was a momentous occasion in Placencia on Tuesday night as the name Great Belize Television was repeatedly announced. It was the Caribbean Media Awards ceremony for excellence in journalism. The reporters and videographers who submitted excellent news stories in 2023 to the CBU were announced. Adding to the team's success were winning categories in sound engineering, best producer, and digital content. Reporter Paul Lopez walked away with 3 of those awards, including one in health education journalism with a story titled Bridging the Gaps of Mental Illness Treatment with videographer Chris Mangar.
When I heard my name called for the first time, I was definitely surprised. I think the first one was Best News Item. And I could recall now walking up on stage and getting a bit emotional, because when you're there, it's completely different than when you watch it on a live stream like we have been doing for years. To be there and to actually receive this award on stage and having all those reflections and flashbacks of my journey, career journey, as well as my personal journey, I don't think there's anything like it, no other feeling, at least up to this point in my life, no greater feeling.
Lopez also won the Best News Story for Television with a story titled A Competency-Based Approach to Education in Belize, with Darrell Mogel and Kenroy Michael as videographers and George Tillett as editor. Lopez's third winning piece was in the Best Sports Story for Television with George Tillett as videographer. Hipólito Novello won the Best Climate Change News item along with videographer Darrell Mogel for a story titled Cultivating Hope, Belize's Seaweed Farming Industry Takes Root.
In this particular story, we focus on TNC's aim to empower women down south. So what we did is we went down south, we saw the women and the participants participating in how to create their own seaweed farm and the benefits that come along with seaweed.
What kind of challenges, if any, that you...
There weren't any challenges per se. I mean, the sun was hot. We get sunburn up. So I think that was the only challenge we had. I can't swim, so I was remain in the boat. I couldn't see, I couldn't dive to see exactly what they were doing underwater. But we got some footage on TNC, and the woman explained to us what exactly they were doing in terms of trying to tie the rope, and in terms of planting the seaweed branches there.
Novello also received a special mention for the Best Investigative Item in the Digital Content category. In the Best Magazine Program for Television, Open Your Eyes received a special mention for its Easter special with hosts Sabrina Daly and John Palacio and producers Vianney Reyes and Brianna Bennett. The videographers for this show were Rick Romero and Joel Westby. Great Belize Productions Limited and producer videographer Rick Romero also won in the Best Commercial Spot with a piece called Unitex, No Worries with a Spark Beach Cruiser.
The commercial for this year was for a company called Unitex Belize. So we did a commercial on the beach cruiser that they're advertising. It's a little boy, riding the bike in traffic and saying he gets to school on time because he rides a beach cruiser, right? So it's a cute little commercial. It's a challenge, to in this business, to top your previous work and to come up with new ideas, whether it be for a story, a commercial, a documentary. After all these years I've been doing this, it's easy, but it's also very, very challenging because you have to find new ways of telling stories.
Romero also won the award for Best Director for Television. The award for Best News Story on Poverty Reduction and Empowerment of Vulnerable Groups went to Dwayne Moody, who is no longer with us. He won that award with videographers Darrell Mogel and Rick Romero. And the Best Sound Engineer for Television went to Luis Sosa.
I feel very honored and very happy to have won my first award as a TV song technician. As you know that you could have good video but not good song, and that don't go together well. I do it every day, so it wasn't that difficult. Just a matter of getting the song right on the TV and mixing board, and I did it with the steel pan with Alex Evans, and he's a professional, so it wasn't that hard.
The winners were selected from among 444 submissions in several categories in print, radio, television, and digital media. Channel 5's CEO, Marlene Cuellar, puts the fierceness of the competition into perspective.
There were over 400 entries into this year's CMAs, and the award submissions, the numbers just keep growing and growing, and the competition keeps getting tighter and tighter. And so the pressure is definitely there to be able to keep up the standard of what we have always been capable of achieving. I am incredibly proud for my team that secured these awards, and for the extended support team at Channel 5 that works to be able to keep the environment conducive to creating these types of awards.
Climate and environmental journalist from Trinidad, Khalil Hossein, who won several awards in 2023, said on Open Your Eyes today that he was happy that the Caribbean Broadcast Union decided on creating an award category for environmental journalism.
We heard yesterday at several of their panels about how the media landscape has changed and how editors should be, prioritizing environment, weather, climate stories as well, especially when they impact so many people across the region. And it doesn't come as a surprise to me, because if you have been following a lot of the CARICOM heads of government meetings, they've been putting climate change at the forefront of many of their discussions, and it seems to be a topic that has gained regional prominence.
The awards ceremony for the 2024 winners will be held in Barbados next year. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marion Ali.
The Belize Music Project is officially here. Created by the Ministries of Culture and Tourism, the initiative seeks to connect Belizean youth to their cultural roots through a love for music. The project was officially launched today at the House of Culture in Belize City. News 5's Brittany Gordon has the story.
For centuries, music has remained one of the strongest ties to culture that a person can have. Playing instruments, singing, and dancing together, music connects people. And the Belize Music Project is seeking to connect Belizean youths to their forebears. Music activist Bilal Morris explains the significance of this project.
The Belize Music Project is a documentation and celebration of Belizean music, both past and present. It's placing Belizean music into a historical context and timeline so that present and future generations of Belizeans, students and non-students alike, Belizean musical enthusiasts, entertainers, and the Belizean community at large can hear, see, experience, and feel the Belizean soul. We can even play back this rich history of Belizean music through various musical technologies and medium today to enjoy the song of a people and their musically creative history that have not only developed a nation, but globalized its rich and cultural heritage.
The project is based on three main principles: research, education, and innovation, with the goal of unlocking Belize's musical soul. Over the course of several months, the experts will attempt to create a digital archive of musical creations across Belizean history.
The Belize Music Project focuses on preserving Belize's rich musical heritage while fostering innovative expressions that bridge past traditions with future artistic endeavors, instilling cultural pride and identity. It involves comprehensive research, including interviews and historical recordings, to create a narrative of Belize's musical journey, culminating in a multi-format music box set titled 100 Airs of Music in Belize, which features significant historical recordings and detailed publications.
Belizean favorites such as Mr. Peters,
I want you people to understand. I am proud to be a Belizean. If you're banded, you're banded.
Lord Rayburn, and Sam Hamilton will be featured. But as the project progresses, researchers will also attempt to archive the works of still undiscovered artists of the past. Minister of Tourism Anthony Mahler says that by doing so, the world will be able to look back for generations to come and appreciate the talent concentrated in the small country of Belize.
Why can't we have the next Bob? Why can't we have the next Rihanna? Why can't we have the next Marshall Montano? Or whoever it is, we have talented people here, and that's why we've invested in the music studios that we've invested in and will continue to do more. And that's why we are investing in the Music and Food Festival. I think art has a crucial play as a part of our culture, has a crucial role to play in our education, and believing in what we are as Belizeans. It is important. For far too often, we take these things for granted. But if you listen to the video and you listen to the talent that we had and we have right now, I think we have to create that environment.
Brittany Gordon for News 5.
Oyster pearls may be coming to Belize as the next business venture for the Ministry of Blue Economy and Disaster Risk Management. As part of the Blue Investment Strategic Objective, the ministry is in search of new initiatives to elevate Belize's nature-based economy. This weekend, government representatives traveled to Mexico to visit an oyster pearl farm and gauge the potential of the industry being introduced in Belize. Additionally, the ministry conducted a feasibility study exploring the possibilities of sea salt sequestration and production in Belize. The field visit is an integral part of the feasibility study that seeks to identify learning opportunities, partnerships, and technical guidance on the business endeavor. These steps are a signal to Belizeans to open the doors for sustainable and inclusive uses of blue spaces in the country. Up next, Olympic runner Sean Gill returns from Paris and confirms his retirement from track and field.
Look here, your kitchen light there and you've been in the kitchen.
Mama going back in there right now.
And the coffee maker?
Just to try keep my coffee warm for later.
Where did you know?
I'll try to think about what to eat.
You know the more you open or close the fridge, it takes longer for the food cool. For a hot day like today, it burns more energy. You charge your phone right now?
No.
Plug it out then. You really only wash 2 Lee socks and 1 Lee shirt? You don't know what small load burn the same amount of electricity as large loads?
But this is my favorite shirt.
You have to be more energy efficient. Use large loads. This AC they blow hard. You know, if you keep the temperature at 25 degrees Celsius or higher, you burn less energy and you also keep the place cool. And for a nice day like today, turn off the AC, open up the house and make some fresh breeze come in.
You know what? I think I get it now. As consumers, we need to be more energy efficient and practice energy conservation.
Are you looking for a career where success has vast potential? As an agent with RFNG Life Insurance, you'll be a part of a dynamic team that values ambition and hard work. Our agents enjoy numerous benefits, including flexible working hours, high earning potential, and thorough training programs. Why is becoming an agent important? Because you get to shape your future. You will help clients achieve their dreams, and in doing so, you will achieve yours. Starting on your first day, you'll receive thorough training and continuous professional development. Our cutting-edge tools and resources will equip you to excel in the field. Achieving your goals as an agent is simple with our well-defined roadmap to success. We provide mentorship, performance incentives, and a vibrant community to help you stay motivated and on track. Our support network is second to none. You'll have access to experienced mentors, a collaborative team environment, and recognition programs that help you celebrate your milestones and achievements. Contact us today and become a part of something extraordinary. RFNG Life Insurance, your future, our commitment.
LG dual inverter compressor cools air faster by operating at speeds as high as 120 Hz with more stability compared to conventional models. It also saves up to 70% more energy by operating at speeds as low as 10 Hz with more stability. It reduces torque vibration down to 40% for quiet outdoor unit operation. Stable operation with low vibrations also results in increased durability.
This plan, I can't leave this plan. Smart Belize!
Hey there, smart thinkers! We're turbocharging your mobile experience with Smart's powered up postpaid plans. Imagine a world where your data speeds flows faster than ever. Well, guess what? We've cranked up the dial and unleashed the postpaid power of Smart's lightning fast LTE data on all our postpaid plans. That's right, no speed bumps, more data. It's like having a limitless highway of data speed at your fingertips. Whether you're a lone ranger with an individual plan or a squad rolling with a group plan, everyone gets to surf, stream, and share at enhanced, full, high-quality speed. Switch to Smart's powered-up postpaid plans today and ride the wave of postpaid power. Visit any Smart showroom or smart-bz.com for details and make your mobile experience smarter and faster. Smart, bringing people together.
I know I can't leave this plan. I can't leave this plan.
Typically, fender benders do not result in serious injuries. But in the case of Omar Matos, he walked away from one drenched in blood. Reports are that on Monday night, the Belmopan resident was in a minor car accident. And upon the arrival of the police, a conflict arose between Matos and the officers. Matos alleges that the police proceeded to beat him severely, resulting in injuries to his face. Matos was taken to the Western Regional Hospital where he received stitches to his right eye. We are awaiting further details from the police on this incident. Olympic runner Sean Gill was the only Belizean athlete in Paris this year. He didn't qualify to compete in the track and field events. Nonetheless, we caught up with him upon his return from the 2024 Summer Games on Tuesday morning. Gill, who recently completed his studies in engineering, has announced his retirement from sports as he shifts focus to finding a job in his field of study. Despite being unable to participate in the Olympic activities, Gill told reporters earlier today that the experience was quite memorable.
The experience was good. Part of the reason the performance was kind of low also was because of the adjustment. Was extremely hard to adjust. I mean, even before the race, I was already in France probably maybe a week and a half, closer to 2 weeks, and still could not adjust. The sleep schedule was just completely off. But I mean, the performance, it is what it is. I mean, I've run many big races before, and it's sport. You know, not every single time you touch the track, you get the performance where you think you're capable of. You know, that's just how it is.
You're the only Belizean to represent the jewel in this year's Olympics. Describe for us that feeling. One, perhaps you would have wanted to see more athletes from our country representing as well. But what was that like for you?
You know, as well as saying, one of my posts on Instagram, you know, I had a feeling, a lot of joy, you know, passion. I really felt like, you know, like I had Belize on my back, you know, and you know, when I gave this story a couple of days ago to one of my friends over there, and when we were doing the opening ceremony and we were going on the boats, you know, I felt normal, like just getting on the boat, you know, it's a procession, you have to go through protocols and everything. But as soon as we had a guide on the boat and the guide tells you when it's your turn to be on TV, and as soon as the guide say, okay, Belize, your turn, just an overwhelming feeling of just, you know, passion and just joy, and that's why I started waving the flag. It takes a lot. I mentioned in one interview, and it kind of went viral, but all I said was the resources here are not as great. That's literally what I said, and it's the truth, you know. So I don't know who's responsible for it, but we need to start working on it because sports is a big deal, and sports unite all athletes.
Now, Sean, you've essentially announced your retirement from track and field. What next should we expect from you, either in your academic pursuits or in any other form of sports?
Well, so this is a part of the farewell tour for me, as I mentioned to Sports Max. I probably have maybe one more race, and that's probably, I'm not even sure when it is, but it's something that I already told the federation here that I am committed to, which is it's being a part of a relay team.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.